the Amusing Hobby Jagdpanzer 38D. Now, this vehicle didn't see action in World War II, but depending on your sources, I've read that 2 of these were in prototype stage and were lacking only transmissions by the end of the war. The obvious difference between this and a Hetzer is the long barrel Pak 42 L70. A while back I was looking for a Hetzer kit, and at the same time I was looking for an inexpensive, easy to build kit to practice winter whitewash with. I'd never built anything by Amusing Hobby before, so when I was at the hobby shop, it's Andy's hobby headquarters here in Arizona, he allowed me to look inside the kit. I saw that the sprue count was pretty low, so the number of parts was fairly low. A couple things about the kit I liked was it had individual link tracks and it had a nice bit of PE. The kit isn't exactly cheap at $39 US, but I don't like rubber band tracks, and since the kit had a nice bit of PE and individual link tracks, I decided to go ahead and buy it. I've never done a winter whitewash paint scheme, and I didn't want to use a premium kit to practice on, so I decided to buy this kit, build it with the express intent of using it to try winter whitewash. The kit came with drawings for 4 paint schemes, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the model red oxide primer, and then I'm going to use Dunkelgelb for the camo, and I'll whitewash over the top of that. The construction part of the video is sped up 2.5 times. I did that to keep the length of the video manageable. One nice thing about the model is that the suspension is movable, so if you want to pose the model on a display base with uneven terrain, the suspension and wheels will conform to the terrain. I had a little bit of a fit issue with one of the suspension and wheel assemblies, and I had to get in there with a hobby knife and carve out a little bit of a pocket. There's a cap on the back of the leaf spring piece, and it wasn't quite deep enough to clear, but once I got in there with a hobby knife and took a little bit of material out, everything was fine. The brand name of Amusing Hobby, I wasn't expecting it to be a great kit, but the parts fit was actually really good. One area where the kit could have been better was with this upper hull section and its associated parts. I thought the detail was a little bit soft. I left the hatch so it could be opened. I haven't decided if I want to put a figure in it or not, but if I decide I want to do that, at least I have that option. The kit has a nice bit of PE. When you get a lot of PE, sometimes it can be overwhelming, but a little bit is nice, and you have some fine details in some areas. The perforated muffler skin is on a flat PE sheet, of course. I just cut it out and I rolled it over a paintbrush handle until it was the right size and I could slip it over the top of the muffler. All of the tracks in the kit are individual link tracks, so even the spares here I mounted had to be assembled. All the PE was etched to the perfect depth. All I needed to do to get it out of the sheet was use a sharp number 11 blade, and I could cut the pieces out of the PE sheet easily. All the PE has to be installed using super glue, and I have a hobby knife with a blade with a really small hook on the end, and it's pretty handy for using CA, where I can dip the hook in the CA and apply very controlled amounts to the PE without making a big mess. The barrel is one piece, which makes it easy to sand out the little parting seams. And you know, if you have a two-piece barrel like older kits, that can be a real challenge sometimes. I know a lot of guys don't like individual link tracks. I don't mind them. They don't bother me at all. I can sit down and get my head in a place where I can just snip away for a long time, and before I know it, I wake up and all my track links are clipped out and I'm ready to roll. The upper hole was a little bit of a tight fit in front, but after I had everything down in place and a little bit of glue in front, absolutely no gaps. Really, really tight fit. Alright, got the main structure assembled, and I put this together in 2 evenings. No sweat, pretty easy work, everything fit nice. And I did a few parts still to put on, but I left those off until after I get the tracks on, because I felt that I might use my big fingers and break them off. Alright, time to build tracks. They're supposed to be snapped together. I found that maybe 1 in 5 will snap together. But the little nubs on the end of the track links, where they fit into pockets in the receiving track link, and it's good in theory, but not in practice. I assemble about 10 links or so and then take some cement and glue the links together. And I just touch a few areas just to hold the links together. And this way, even after a couple hours, I can still bend the tracks. And since the suspension is movable, I mean, why wouldn't I carve a base to show that off? So I took some pink foam and I took a big old soldering iron with some copper wire, and I went in and carved it up, and there you can see the suspensions moving around. I got the wheels in different positions. And now, the hard part is we're going to have to put track links all the way around. It's going to be irregular, so it's going to take a little bit more time than if it was sitting on a flat surface. And I know for some guys this might drive them crazy putting all these links together. And I think I used 200 track links, you know, between the two sides. But honestly, I don't mind it. I just sit down and kind of get into a groove and turn on an audio book and just put them together, you know. And it took me 2 evenings to do the tracks, which is interesting. It took me 2 evenings to do the whole rest of the structure. So, you know, but there's a lot of pieces. There's 200 track lengths I needed to use, and it just took some time. Here I have the PE on. I got the tracks on, so I got the PE for the shirts in, and it bent up wonderfully. The only time I had to use a PE bender was for that back bracket. And other than that, I just bent them with the tweezers, and everything worked great. You know, I have to say I'm really happy with the kit. It exceeded my expectations. The fit was terrific. There's a little bit of flash, more than you would find in a premium kit, and some of the details a little bit soft, but it went together wonderfully, and you know, I think it's a really nice kit. And if I'm looking for a paper tank or prototype type tanks, you know, I would probably give Amusing Hobby another look.